The adoring fan. Everyone's favorite character in Oblivion. Whether it's to make fun of him or launch him down the tallest mountain in the game, everyone has a bit of joy when he shows up. But what if I told you that there might be something more darker about the adoring fan? Something sinister. Now you may be wondering why I think these things or even asking this question. See, while streaming every quest in Oblivion, the adoring fan seems to be shedding skin sometimes. He respawns every 3 days, so he's not mortal. We know this. He respawns. Mortals cannot respawn. Not even your character in-game. You die, you die. You have to reload a save. That's not respawning. And then something happened. I'll get to the bottom of him. And his dark mystery. Look at him. Look at him. There's no way this man is mortal. He has to be a higher power. What the fuck is this? You cannot call me crazy. He respawns every 3 days. He doesn't stay dead. He can levitate. He's flying. Who is this man? A forgotten Daedric prince? Or maybe there were 10 divines. But now, he's a forgotten divine. Or maybe he's just a completely different entity. Like the deep ones that the people of Hackdirt were talking about. He could be a completely own entity that we don't even know of yet. And yet all we know is his yellow, pointy hair. He was flying. He was flying. Right once I was having suspicions about the adoring fan, this happens. That is not something an innocent wood elf would do. Now you could just assume it's Oblivion being Oblivion, but what if it isn't? You could say it's levitation magic. That's not in Oblivion. That's in Morrowind, not Oblivion. So it couldn't be levitation magic. See, when he's following you around, he will say things like,
By Azura, by Azura, by Azura! It's the Grand Champion! I can't believe it's you standing here next to me.
Or,
Yes! Oh, great and mighty Grand Champion! Is there something you need? Can I carry your weapon? Shine your boots? Back rub, perhaps? Golly, you're the best! I'm going to follow you and watch you and worship the ground you walk on. Let's go!
almost in a satire way, or a way that doesn't even sound believable. It's almost too much. It's almost too much, and we've all had somebody praises somebody too much. A meat writer, glazing. Nobody likes that. See, I think he's something beyond mer or mortal. Now, to understand what I'm about to say, I'm going to give a small crash course of a Daedric prince. Sheogorath, a prominent character in Oblivion, the Mad God. Some people also call him Comforter of Men, or the Trickster. It is said he typically manifests on Nirn as a seemingly harmless man, often carrying a cane. Notice how I say often, not always. Now I bring Sheogorath up, because genuinely think about it. Would you put it past Uncle Sheo to cosplay an adoring fan to watch his future replacement and to trick the player in that way? I wouldn't. Now you could say that I'm reaching, looking too far into it. I think not. Even if he may not be Uncle Sheo, he still could be a Daedra. When you kill a Daedra, they don't actually die. They get sent back into Oblivion as pretty much dust in the wind until they reincarnate back to what they were before or something new. That could explain why the adoring fan takes 3 days to respawn, let alone respawn. And the announcer for the arena has the same voice as Sheogorath. Now you could say it's because Oblivion only had 7 voice actors, and that is a valid argument. But what if it's not just because they didn't have more voice actors? What if it's on purpose? Sheogorath announcing the arena where mortals go and kill each other. The Great Prince didn't have an adoring fan? No, but we do. Sheogorath knew we would be his replacement. He knew. Therefore, after watching us in the arena, he wanted to keep a close eye on us. being the adoring fan. Now let's take a left turn, not even talk about Sheogorath or the Daedra. Let's talk about a different being, a whole other entity. This part is all just maybe not my main point, but I feel like I should bring it up. It might have some relevancy. It's just something I feel like I should bring up. I mean, it's too weird not to, you know? Remember the shedding of skin I mentioned earlier at the beginning of this video? Well, what if I told you that there's a quest in Oblivion called Hackdirt? Many of you know this quest. Some of you may not. If you don't, let me catch you up to speed. When you visit Coral for the first time, you will be approached by a very polite Argonian called Dharma, just welcoming you to Coral and telling you about the family shop that you should stop by. It's a very nice encounter, very wholesome. The next time you go to Coral, you'll see that Dharma isn't walking around, so you go to the shop and talk to her mom. Cydnius will tell you that she sent Dharma on a business trip down to a small village just outside of Coral called Hackdirt. She hasn't returned in a few days and asks us to see what's going on. When you get to Hackdirt, you'll see most of the village is burned down, and the people here are not friendly. After looking around some more, you'll find Dharma's journal talking about how she's grown and can do these kind of trips, and her mom needs to stop babying her. Normal journal things. Then it goes into her feeling uneasy in Hackdirt. She's hearing weird noises. The people are looking at her funny. People are talking outside of her door. So we know she's here, but the residents are saying otherwise. The residents are saying, we don't know who Dharma is. We haven't seen Dharma. No Argonian trader has came down to the inn in the general store, and, you know, they need their supplies. They're pointing that Dharma hasn't been here. Besides one of them, Jiv. He is a resident in Hackdirt and tells you that they are keeping Dharma in the cave systems underneath the village to sacrifice to the Deep Ones. We never get any more information on who or what the Deep Ones are, but the book in the chapel that is written in Daedric. But from my little understanding, it's all gibberish. It just says nothing at all. So with all that covered, and this is a very far reach, what if the Adoring Fan is a Deep One, or is the Deep One? He sheds his skin, and his eyes are kind of off. His clothes seem like the colors of what I believe the Deep One would have, but having no more evidence of the Deep One, it's hard to tell, but not impossible. But the closest thing I can think of with the Deep Ones, I think of Cthulhu, right? Who wouldn't? And then that just makes me think of the Slowed. But the Adoring Fan couldn't be the Slowed, or even a magical being from the Slowed. The Slowed have been gone for many, many years at this point. Back to Sheogorath. My main point of this entire video. The Adoring Fan cannot follow you into the Shivering Isle. With everything I've said and questioned and brought up, this is what makes it believable. How could Sheogorath be the Adoring Fan and himself at the same time? All while you're there. You're in the Shivering Isles. You see Sheogorath. So how could you possibly see the Adoring Fan? I don't think he could do that. Well, I mean, he could. The Daedric princes are tricky and can do very impossible things. Like, let's be honest. He could do that. But why would he need to? Why would he need to be the Adoring Fan? You're in his realm. He has no use of being the Adoring Fan anymore. The Adoring Fan can't follow you into the Shivering Isles. He literally can't. He just disappears. With everything I talked about, it makes some sense. You can't tell me otherwise. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I've been tranced by the mad god into making this. But my last and final piece of evidence. Look at what he wears in Daggerfall. And what does the Adoring Fan wear? But every time I look into the Adoring Fan's eyes, I can't help but feel uneasy for what he's done or has done. He's always smiling, but his eyes tell a different story. He's not smiling because he's happy. He's smiling because he's done some terrible things, and he knows it. He's not mortal. That's something we can all say for sure. Who's to say he's just a normal wood elf, or if he's anything more? With all this covered, the Elder Scrolls lore, as we know, could all be wrong. I mean, we only know these things because of scholars. And books. Who's to say that they're right or correct? I mean, in real life, think about it. Scientists and scholars are always wrong and finding new things that contradict what they said. Right? They're always expanding their knowledge. They're always saying, yeah, we were wrong. But what's to say that it's not the same in the Elder Scrolls? We could know nothing but lies. That being said, I made all this up. It is just a theory, just like most of the books and lore in the games. It's all fake. Or is it?